Lafayette police are investigating the death of a little girl after her death has been ruled a homicide.
News 18's Holly Campbell joins us now with the latest on the investigation. Holly.
Jeff, Gina, Skylar Foster will always be remembered by her family as a loving little girl. And a week after her death, the family is looking for answers. July 21st, Michael Yoakum got a call about his granddaughter no one ever wants to hear.
So they were lifelining her to Riley that they had found her unconscious and not breathing.
Yoakum says the following day, 14-month-old Skylar Foster of Lafayette died.
I mean, immediately you get angry. You want to vindicate that death. You want to bring justice for that death. And then you get flooded with the emotion of you just lost your 14-month-old grandbaby.
But it's how Skylar died that Yoakum says is so concerning. An autopsy by the Marion County Coroner's Office confirmed Skylar died from blunt force trauma to the head. Yoakum believes it was a case of child abuse.
The doctors were concerned with some of the bruising that they'd found under her diaper. There was marks on there from other things than hands or falling.
There were several bruises that were suspicious, and the doctors at Riley did classify them as symptoms or signs of abuse.
Yoakum says Skylar lived in Lafayette with her mother and her mother's new boyfriend, who stayed with them often. He says a few months ago a neighbor reported possible abuse. Lafayette Police Sergeant Brian Gozzard says police responded to the call, checked out the children, and did not suspect any abuse. Gozzard says another disturbing detail has come out in the investigation. He says the family told investigators that Skylar stopped breathing for a short period just days before her death. Gozzard says that incident was never reported.
We're not ruling anything out as far as accidental versus intentional, but it does at this point look like an abuse case.
Yoakum says Skylar's mother's boyfriend was the only adult home at the time she went unconscious. But Gozzard says with little evidence, investigators want to talk to everyone who was in contact with Skylar in the final days before her death.
She was full of love, and that's a lot to say about a child that comes into the world with a lot of love to give. I can't imagine what gift she would have been to all of those around her as she grew up.
Since the day Yoakum got that call about Skylar, he has been trying to spread the message that if you see something, say something.
They don't have a very big voice. They're scared. They're not going to tell that, oh, that person hit me or that person did something to me. They need help. Get that child's voice heard before it's snuffed out and that child can't talk anymore.
Skylar's funeral was Monday. Instead of flowers, her family asked people to send stuffed animals that could then donate to several organizations that give aid to children. They collected more than 4,000. Sergeant Gozzard says the investigation is still ongoing. If you have any information about this case, you are asked to call the Lafayette Police Department. Holly Campbell, News 18.
All right, Holly.